Morning. Hey,
morning.
The pedal they call the gentleman himself, Geordin Bruce Wallace. Yippee-ki-yay!
Who is this?
Geordin Bruce Willis.
Whose dad is that?
Here. The mayor's here.
And just a reminder, we only speak to the mayor during school holidays because
Correct.
when it's school time, you're doing the school run.
I'm doing the school run, and I was actually going to bring my daughter along to the studio this morning
Yeah.
because she doesn't have anything to do today. It's school holidays. But then, and she was going to come until last night. Then she refused to get up at
Yeah, it's like
5:30.
I'm not waking up early
Yeah.
for no reason.
It's a punish. My kids always want to come in the school holidays
And then-
to work, and then
Yeah.
it's like, nah, Dad, not today.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
today.
Anyway, maybe next time.
Welcome, Geordin
Thank you.
Hill-Lewis. Welcome once again. I am so glad that we didn't lose you to a ministerial role.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you.
I was very chuffed about that because
Yeah.
I heard that you were being offered a ministerial position. The ANC wanted Geordin Hill-Lewis.
What's the tea on that,
the
man?
ANC wanted Jordan.
Yes. They want you in the top 6.
I'm not sure if that is a compliment or not. But no, I love Cape Town and I'm staying right here. Thank you very much.
Lots of work to do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The moment he walked in, I was like, it's been a quiet few months
Yeah.
for you.
No, there's
First half of the year. Not much
Hasn't
going
been-
on.
Can't think of what I've been doing.
Were you involved in any of those conversations at all about putting this government of national unity together?
Yes, we had a core negotiating team, but they had a kind of slightly broader team that they spoke to about some economic policy issues, some budget issues, and I've also, over the years, just built up good relationships, particularly with the finance minister from my time in Parliament and some other key economics portfolio ministers. So I was just keeping all the lines of communication open and doing some work on economic policy stuff, but not directly involved in the 5, I think it was 4 or 5 people that were negotiating.
If they said, okay, Geordin, you can have any ministerial post, what would it be? Finance?
I think it would be, yes, but not now, because I really actually respect Enoch Godongwana and like him and think he's a good finance minister. So I wouldn't want to displace him. But any one of the key economic portfolios, trade and industry, and they used to have public enterprises. They've now dissolved it and sent all of the public firms, the state-owned entities, to the presidency. A very sneaky move, by the way, which no one has commented on in the press, but. More and more things are going to the presidency in South Africa. You'll remember in the last term, he took state intelligence, which I think is not very healthy at all to have state intelligence in the presidency. He took all
It's a bit
of
of an oxymoron, isn't it?
Okay.
Hey,
all right. Well, the government spy agencies he took into the presidency, as well as the so-called Operation Vulindlela, which is all the economic reforms in the presidency as well. So there's a lot of things going there, mounting into a kind of imperial presidency.
Okay, but now, so, because I would imagine if you were going to be a minister, that the funnest role is what Gayton McKenzie got, and that's the
Sports.
Minister of Sport. So he's there with hanging with going to Olympics, you're going to the rugby match. He doesn't have to worry about tickets to the All Blacks now.
That's it. That's
He's
so
sorted.
True. I would never miss another Springbok match ever, anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It would be a cool gig, and he
So-
gets to hang out with Mama Joy as well.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Super fan.
It's the super fan.
But I know you got tickets to the All Blacks v Springboks game because you got your own suite. You got this. It's your stadium.
I sense where this is going.
Listen,
I will
man,
be there.
we entered the lottery. We were there in the trenches with the people.
So
And
We
it
were
didn't go
not
your way.
successful,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But I hope that teaches you a lesson about the lottery.
This is the biggest. there's going to be a lot of questions here today on the show, but the biggest one, the biggest gripe is going to be the tickets. So can we have like a matinee? Can they just play twice in a day?
We'll get them to do like a five-a-side.
They can do a 3:00 match, and then they can do a 5:00 match.
These are the negotiations you should be having, man.
I've done
Please fix the city.
I've done stand-up comedy shows where the 8:00 sells out, then you got to do a matinee because you've only got the theatre for one day.
Yeah.
And you were just on for the matinee. You were the curtain raiser.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we going to start here this morning?
So many questions.
Let's start firstly with Janine from Para. Good morning, Janine.
Morning. Hi, Mr. Mayor. I just have a quick question. The Belleville Athletic Stadium used to be a wonderful stadium that all school events was held at, and due to the non-upgrades or upkeep thereof, everything has been moved to the Cape Town Stadium. It's quite a distance for kids to travel. So I just want to know, is there any prospects of that stadium ever being restored to its former glory?
Are you talking about the Velodrome now?
You know, the athletic stadium just next to it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a long time ago, the city sold the Velodrome, the whole piece of land, including the athletics track, and the person who bought it, or the company that bought it, never paid for it. So we had to go back and cancel the deal and go through a long legal process to cancel the deal. But of course, in the interim, while we were waiting to be paid, there was no maintenance and upkeep because we were thinking that it's going to be transferred to the developer. So we are busy talking right now about what the future holds for the Velodrome and the athletics track. I must say the Velodrome is extremely expensive to upkeep, and it probably is going to cost somewhere in the region of 300 million rand plus to get it back to its kind of status as an international events venue. So the city has to make some difficult decisions about whether we can actually do that or whether that whole piece of area, that piece of land should be developed. And there's a lot of people specifically looking for an indoor stadium to do concerts.
Yes, please.
That can be much bigger than the Grand West Arena.
Yes, we need a 10,000 seat venue.
I think they actually want a kind of 15,000 seater.
Perfect.
And obviously not as big as the 55,000 that the stadium can do, Cape Town Stadium. So there's a discussion taking place right now on its future. I will tell you this though, that the city, I'm sure you're familiar with I think you're from Parow, Janine. You're familiar with Jan Burger Stadium in Parow, just above Parow Golf Course. We're going to upgrade that into a citywide athletics facility as well for those northern suburb schools. So whatever happens with the Velodrome, there will be a new and bigger and better athletics facility for your schools. Thanks, Janine.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, Janine. I've heard that there's a new thing that's going to be happening with Cape Town, with a bunch of very entrepreneurial plastic surgeons. I don't know if you've heard about this.
No.
What is that sentence, Darren? Very vague of you.
Medical tourism. Cape Town is going to be a medical tourist hotspot. You know, like Turkey, where you go there for some teeth and some hair.
Okay.
And
a BBL maybe.
Yeah, where our plastic surgery is much cheaper than the rest of the world. Our standard is very high.
Okay.
So I've heard there's a whole group of surgeons going to open this big facility just for tourists.
Well, there you are. So you can come. What kind of things do you get there?
What would you like? What would you like? Anything is possible now.
All right.
All right. We've got a question here on the WhatsApp telephone.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Quentin here, Kensington. What's happening with the tent in Fort Rica Road? It's now clustered and mushroomed up into a full-blown housing, informal housing settlement.
Yes.
So I blame the council and I blame the zoning of that tent. I mean, that should have been sorted out a long time ago. That tent was put up there for that people that came out of the church.
Correct.
In Green Market Square. So just please answer that. Thank you.
It was Quentin, eh?
Yes.
Quinton, you're absolutely correct on where it comes from. That land is military land. It's not even zoned properly, and the tent should have been gone a long time ago. The city stopped paying for it about 2 years ago already, and so it's now an issue that is with the Department of Home Affairs. About a year ago already, I met with the Minister of Home Affairs, Aaron Motsoaledi, the minister at the time. And he was very committed to helping us sort out that tent, which is really because everyone in there is an illegal, mostly illegal, foreign citizen. Some are here legally, but very few. It's a home affairs issue, and he committed to helping me sort it out. He committed to getting a court order. He committed to repatriating those who needed to be repatriated. And I'm afraid that that's the last I heard of it. We've been following up with the Office of the Minister of Home Affairs almost monthly to try and get some update on exactly what's happening.
But now the Minister of Home Affairs is your guy.
I was getting to that. So
Just WhatsApp him, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hey, bros, you're on the same DA group, aren't you?
Exactly, we are.
The DA caucus.
And so, Quinton, hopefully we can now get movement from the Department of Home Affairs to deal with that, because there's another one in Belleville called Paint City. That's the same people that came from the church, and every time I visit there, they tell me that they want to go to Canada. And they want us to send them to Canada.
To Canada?
and I just don't think that Canada's going to accept them either. So we've got to find a solution for them. But Home Affairs has to take the lead, and hopefully now we can get some action and movement from Home Affairs.
But yeah, that's not how it works. Like if you arrive into a country illegally, you've got to be returned to the country of
You originate from.
that you are from. You can't just, I want to go to Bali, please.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
You have no power.
I did actually raise this with the Canadian High Commissioner, but he kind of just looked at me blankly.
All right. Let's take another question here from the WhatsApp telephone.
Goeiemôre Mr. Geordin Hill-Lewis.
Goeiemôre.
Hierso. Ek wil net baie graag weet wat die raad wat die elektrisiteit so hoog laat opgaan elke keer. Wat 'n consumer ek lees hulle nie dat hulle dit toelaat dat Eskom se krag met so baie persentasie kan opgaan op 'n tyd. Ek verstaan nie dit nie. Kan jy miskien vir my dit verduidelik?
Thank you so much for that question. I'm so glad that you got it in one, as they say. The biggest driver of electricity prices in South Africa is Eskom. Eskom has just, by the way, if you haven't heard, has just asked for a 36% increase next year.
Come on.
And we don't know if that'll be approved, of course, but that's what they've asked for. So the city, just like every other Eskom customer in the country, is an Eskom customer. We get our power from Eskom. We pay them about R1 billion a month, by the way, and we do not owe them a rand. And we reticulate, we distribute that electricity across the city, across our grid. So we can't argue with their prices. We go to NERSA every year, and we try to argue. We try to make the case for lower prices, but NERSA makes that decision to grant these extraordinary Eskom increases. This year, 12.8%. So we have no other choice but to pass on most of that increase onto consumers. And so I always say, I use the phrase, we are a price taker, not a price maker. We have to take the price that's given to us. And that is the difficulty in electricity in South Africa. And that is why I say the biggest priority for us is to reduce our reliance on Eskom, because Eskom power is becoming totally unaffordable for average South Africans.
Yeah.
It's not
Totally
realistic.
unaffordable. And we have to get cheaper sources of power. And there are cheaper sources. Renewable energy is cheaper than the coal energy that Eskom produces. We've got to get much more of that onto our city grid, and as quickly as possible, which is exactly what we are trying to do. Over time, if I cast my eyes a decade into the future, of course that's no help to our monthly bills right now, but if you cast our eyes into the future, the more that we can reduce our reliance on Eskom and increase our reliance on cheaper sources, you might actually start to see energy prices coming down over time. But it's going to take a while, because Eskom is still the biggest kind of elephant in the room.
Yeah. So now, from one major national government parastatal to the next.
Maar baie dankie vir die vraag.
I read with absolute shock and horror that the port,
Yes.
the Cape Town port, was voted the worst port in the world.
Not just voted, based on its performance data.
Yes, which is quite a shock to the system when we're used to announcing that we're the best in the world at all these things.
Yeah, it's appalling. When you hear farmers from the Western Cape, literally, I've had farmers literally with tears in their eyes saying their entire fruit harvest rotted in the port. They had to throw it away because it couldn't get out of here to wherever, Vietnam, China, America, wherever it is that they're selling it to. That's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. So it has to get better, and I'm that's why I was talking earlier about state-owned enterprises. That's one thing I would have been very, very interested in, because the ports, the trains, Eskom are all these massive state companies, none of which are working particularly well. All of them are in the ICU, and they need serious attention to get better. The port of Cape Town is one of the most critical.
Can you stick around till 8?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's my plan.
I see you walked in with your own coffee. You know, I brought a Nescafe Gold sachet for you.
Only the best for you.
I brought a sachet for you from my kitchen this morning.
Well, that's actually insulting, because I saw you've also got this very fancy DeLonghi coffee machine in the studio.
Yeah, but we always out of beans.
So you're saying I couldn't have that one? I have to have the Nescafe sachet?
No, I knew we didn't have beans, so I brought you a sachet from my kitchen.
Anyway, you must enjoy the All Blacks game on your TV. On your TV. Enjoy it on your TV.
So, does that mean a spot has opened up then in the mayor's box?
Marie Helene from Somerset West, good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, Marie?
Yes, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Mr. Meyer and the team involved for fixing Malmesbury Road in Kleinbosch.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. Thank you.
I sent in a request the previous time you visited the team, and I think it was a day or two later, and the team involved was on the scene, and it was fixed immediately a week after.
Amazing.
What was the issue?
What was the issue, Marie?
Well, it was potholes everywhere, and it was quite a while. It was hectic, and it was fixed within a week. So yes, a big, big, big thank you.
Awesome. I'm so pleased to hear that, Marie. Thank you for letting me know.
Yes, thank you, team.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao, bye-bye.
That's all we need to do. Just fix the potholes, and the people will be happy.
Yeah.
That's I think the standard of governance in South Africa is like...
The bar's very low.
bar,
Just fix the potholes.
Oh, look,
Don't
a speed
expect
bump.
Don't expect much.
We'll take care of health and education later. Just fix the potholes.
So I've just come out from outside, and I've just taken an order from your security detail.
Okay.
They were happy to have my coffee, Mayor.
The sachets.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have you noticed a trend in global politics where I think people are more interested in politics now than they used to be? Mm-hmm. Politicians were very quiet in the background. Nobody heard of them. They just got the job done.
Yes.
Now, there's a word called polytainment.
Yes.
Have you heard this word?
I have, yes.
Polytainment. It's now watching debates between politicians. Fully involved, because it's, if nothing else, it's thoroughly entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also getting the rise of these very kind of unique characters, shall we say, in global politics, who love them or hate them, no matter what you feel about their politics, they actually are quite entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people tune in for that.
Because I think you are fast becoming a bit of a rock star.
Well, I hope not. I hope not in the same way that, like, Donald Trump once did this press conference in which he took out a black Cokie and then redrew where a hurricane was going to go, and the weather service had said no, it's going to stop there, and then he just redrew the lines, and he said no, it's going to go there.
Oh, he was telling them.
He was telling the hurricane where it was going to go. Yeah. So I hope in Cape Town we're kind of based on the facts. We try to get things right, try to do a good job. None of that.
Because at the heart of your work is service, right? That should always be the priority.
I believe in that.
Yeah, but Mother Teresa, she had a fan base.
Mother Teresa. Wow.
These people served their communities, but they were highly revered. Did you get stopped in shopping malls for photographs and stuff?
I do.
see what I'm saying?
That's part of the job. Yeah.
That never happened before.
Yes.
Some questions here on the WhatsApp telephone.
Come on, let's answer them.
My question is more related to the applications for high schools. You get a time frame as to when you can apply, and then you should wait on a response. If you get a response from them saying that the schools that you have applied to within your area is oversubscribed, and you have to wait until the 14th of June again, just to see if a spot has opened for your child. You also get the same response saying schools are still oversubscribed. What do you do in that situation? Taking into account the cost of living, where do you put your child?
Okay, ma'am, I didn't get your name up front there, but let me say that the city of Cape Town does not play a role in schools and the education system really at all. In fact, the education system is run by the Western Cape Education Department. Obviously, they are close colleagues of mine, so I can help with your question, but it's not under the auspices of the city of Cape Town. What we are trying to do is
this
help.
is Alan.
This is Alan and the provincial minister, who's David Mania.
Come on, Al.
Let me just say, the city's trying to help build more schools more quickly. We are helping with a program called the School Rapid Build program, but really our role is approving the plans and the engineering drawings and so on for as many new schools as possible. But to your question, I know that lots of parents have contacted my office with this query and concern, and I understand it. Parents are getting the rejection notices, and I did check with the provincial department because I was getting hundreds of emails about this. The provincial department told me that when they do the first round allocation, lots of people get rejection letters or notices because obviously lots and lots of people have applied for the same schools. So then the schools have got to go and actually approve their first list of students. And then from that first list of students, you'll find that a lot of people actually end up dropping out. They go to different schools, they make different decisions, whatever. So they drop off the list. And then you might find that if you're on the waiting list, you actually do get an approval to one of those schools. So I would encourage you to contact your Western Cape Education Department district office. And if you can't get joy with the district office, to go right to the provincial office and to submit your query there. And before the end of the show, I will just leave the district and head office details with the producer so that they can send it to you.
Another quick fire question here.
So I'm a doctor in state, very proud to be a public servant, but our national health laboratory system has been down for almost 2 weeks now, and it is debilitating. I've got patients that have been waiting weeks for results. Some patients have already completed treatment before I can actually prove that what I was treating they actually have. We can't book CT scans because we don't have any renal function results, so it blocks beds, then our ECs are full. It's actually affecting patient lives. So I was wondering if our mayor had any insight as to when this will be fixed, or if there's any contingencies that will be put in place, because it's an already strained system. A lot of our budget has already been cut. We are serving double the population than what we did 7-8 years ago with half the amount of staff. So yeah, any end in sight for us?
Yeah. I feel almost admonished about talking about speed bumps earlier, because what the doctor gives us insight into is actually what's the rot at the heart of basic services in South Africa. Let me say, I will have to check where. I presume that's a national system. This
Government hospitals.
national laboratories system that you referred to, that is down. and I'm presuming that this is a piece of national software. I'll have to check for you, and it sounds appalling that it's been down for that long. And having very real world consequences. But I'm going to have to check with my colleagues in the Western Cape Health Department as to why it is down and when it will be back up again. But we've had this, just to extend this example, the National Police Call Centre 10111 has been down for several weeks actually. It's back up again now, but it's on again, off again. These really big essential services that people rely on are under tremendous strain, and that I think emphasizes what the doctor has just said, emphasizes how much is at stake in our government of national unity and how much we need to get right to set our country on a better course. As for this piece of national software, this national laboratory software, I'm going to have to figure it out from the Western Cape Health Department and come back to you, Doctor.
Okay.
And Mayor, I mean, Cape Town is such a popular place to live. You find people from not only all corners of South Africa wanting to move here. I myself moved here over 10 years ago from PE, but people from around the world wanting to settle here. Is there a plan to, accommodate the rising number of people that are moving to the city and the surrounds? And we're speaking about, the pressure on the health department, on services, on everything really. Can we look forward to a city that is for all in that sense?
So the biggest and most important way you do that is by investing in infrastructure, because the city is responsible for that core foundational infrastructure like water pipes, sewer pipes, stormwater drains, roads, electricity grid network, supply of fresh water, so on, that really makes a city work. And so we are ramping up to try and keep up with that pressure of the number of people moving to our city. That's why we have an infrastructure budget double the city of Johannesburg, which is still a bigger city. More than Durban and Johannesburg combined, we are investing in infrastructure in Cape Town. 40 billion rand over the next few years. But that, to be honest, is to try and keep up with the pressure of the number of people coming to such a rapidly growing city. And to make sure that, as you say, the city can work for all of its residents long into the future. We actually would love to do even more, but it depends on how much funds you can raise on the international market for that infrastructure investment. That's why I'm so pleased. I don't know if you saw this, but last week, Friday, Moody's upgraded the city. Moody's is an international credit rating agency. And what that means, very practically, we talk about this often in South Africa. South Africa has a very bad international credit rating. It's not just a scoreboard. It actually determines the price at which you can go and get money on the international markets. And you use that money to invest in infrastructure. So if we could get a cheaper cost of capital, we can invest even more. And so these things are actually important. It's important that our credit rating rises over time. And so it was great that Cape Town's went up last Friday.
Now, here's a very, very important question, Mayor, from Daryl. He wants to know, when you pay the parking on the streets of the city, where does that money go? Who gets that money?
Well, it's split between the city and the parking service provider, the company that does that street side parking.
Okay.
That's the simple answer.
Burning question there from Daryl. Are you Daryl?
No.
Daryl.
No. I use KFM as my base here in Greenwood. If I need to go into the city, I either walk or I Uber.
Uber from here, yeah.
Good.
All right. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for your time. That's all we have time for this morning, I'm afraid.
Oh. Well, it's been wonderful to spend time with you. It is always wonderful to spend time with you. Thank you to the Cape Townians for great questions.
I love our quarterly check-ins.
I also enjoy them very much.
Yeah, so we'll see you in the next 3 months.
See you then.
Okay, and we'll see you at the rugby.
Well, I'll be there. I'll send you a selfie.